Welcome to another episode of the Leadership Lens, where we speak with global leaders to discuss the latest trends in the industry, future-gazing ideas, awe-inspiring marketing strategies, and most importantly, aspects of business and marketing that we all need to be aware of in 2022. I'm Shiny and I handle content for AdTech and iMedia events in India, and I'll be your host for today. We have a very special topic that we're going to discuss today, which is short videos, and a very, very special guest, which is Rubeena Singh, who's the country manager for Josh from Verse Innovation. Josh is the leading short video app platform in India, and they launched a year ago. They've been creating waves ever since. I cannot be more excited to talk to Rubeena about this today. Welcome, Rubeena. It's so great to have you at Leadership Lens.
Thank you, Shiny. Pleasure's all mine. I'm as excited to talk to you, full of Josh.
Perfect. So Rubeena has over 20 years of experience and an enviable track record across digital, print, and broadcasting. She has the ability of building and scaling businesses on the sustainable foundation of strong, motivated teams, business relationships, and efficient processes. Before Josh, she was the CEO of iProspect from the Dentsu Group. iProspect, under her leadership, grew rapidly to gain almost 100 plus clients in a short period of 4 years, right? And including marquee clients like OLX, PayPal, GoAir, and many more. Also under her leadership, the agency won over 100 plus awards in a short period of 1 year, actually. She has been named the top 50 influential women in media and entertainment industry by the Impact magazine. She has also been a strong advocate for women in leadership and launched the Women at iProspect initiative, which allows for in-house talent to grow and excel as the future leaders of the industry. An enviable bio, Rubeena. Thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to start with our first question. So Rubeena, this is a big move. You know, you've done so much and achieved so much at iProspect. And now you are on the crux of doing so much more at Josh, which is giving the small video creator economy all the much needed impetus. How has the journey been for you?
I think it's a wonderful journey. And, you're right. I've been around for over 20 years now and witnessed, some of the major changes that have shaped the industry today. When I started my career, I started with television. And when television was just peaking, I saw that phase and then saw digital peaking. And that's when I was with Money Control and, iProspect. And through my career, what I've really enjoyed is scaling up, businesses and projects. And with the superlative growth that the short video ecosystem has had over the past 1 year, that's what prompted really me to get into this space. And Josh is at a point where it's ready to scale. It's the market leader in this space. And it really excites me to be part of that brand's growth journey. And, going back to my previous of working with an agency, it has given me deep knowledge and insight into the entire marketing ecosystem, which is, intrinsic for understanding the consumer trends at one side, the emerging technologies on the other side, and also having the ringside view of what the clients' objectives are, constraints are, and I intend to apply, all of this to Josh and help brands, engage with the 136 million people that we have currently and which are constantly growing.
Fantastic. So 136 million in a short period of, say, 1 year, right?
Yes, that's roughly over a year.
Yes. Perfect. So Rubeena, another big topic that's moving around is the creator economy, which is booming. Like how, and it only, and the feeling when I look at it and I read so much about it is that we're still seeing the tip of the iceberg here, right? When you say the creator economy, and led by brands like Josh, which are giving them so much influence and so much encouragement to do this. Where do you see this headed in the next 2 to 3 years?
Shani, you're so right. This creator economy is going through a paradigm shift right now. And I think this is just the beginning. Like you said, it's the tip of the iceberg. And this is largely, because of, deeper internet penetration in the country and also greater access to technologies, which are becoming simpler and simpler for users today. They have catalyzed the journey for a lot of people to, become content creators from content consumers. So earlier people who were consuming content today have also become content creators. It has democratized the process of content creation. And also, on the other side, for users, there is an increased appetite which is so high for content which is short form, snackable, but also highly personalized to their preferences. And that is giving a big fillip to the creator economy. Also, if you look at it from a brand lens, right? Today, consumers and users are becoming very, very discerning, and they can tell advertising from content. And therefore, what is really happening is that there is more trust in the influencer led marketing over the traditional other forms of marketing. That is really fueling the growth of this whole creator economy in India, in my mind. And at Josh, we are a creator first and content forward platform, really. And we've got about 100,000 creators, which create content with us, also engage with the content that we have and consume that content as well. And what we are also doing is at the same point in time working very hard to grow this community, and we've taken so many other initiatives, for instance like Josh All Stars, which is really an initiative that we have taken into discovering the next 100,000 content creators in India. So creators is really at the center stage of our product and growth strategies.
Amazing. I think it's really heartening to see brands and platforms like yours supporting the economy and supporting, every individual as such. Now every individual has the power to become a creator or the power to become an influencer. It's really heartening to see that, Rubeena. Uh, so, Rubeena, post the TikTok exit, we have seen multiple short form video platforms emerge. The stage, honestly, to me or to any layman as of now, looks a little fragmented. We have too many of them, but not too many numbers going around like Josh does. Do you see this continuing for a while, or do you see this, going into a consolidation phase with one or two larger players left after a couple of years?
Yeah, Shiny, you're right. The past, and it feels really long, but if you really look at it, it's been just like 15, 16 months. But those 15, 16 months have been like a defining year for the short video ecosystem in the country, right? And now the user base, almost the entire user base, which was earlier with the Chinese apps, has come back to the Indian apps. And for that time frame, I think the whole Indian short video ecosystem has not just matured very quickly, but also has started thriving in the market at present, right? And you're right, it was a cluttered market. When it's all started off, it was like about 10 players, I think, and there was everybody, and we didn't know which way it would go. But today, can safely say that there are three major players. While there are bunch of others as well, but there are three major players really in that space. And I do see that over a period of time, as we mature, there will be consolidation, and there will be, three to four, maybe three large players as we have today. And, at Josh itself, we have tried very hard to capture most of that market share and dominated both on the creator ecosystem through the influencers, and also from a user end as well. And we're working very hard towards our mission, which is to be the largest Indian language content platform in the country across our family of apps, which address a very unique and underserved needs of users. While at the same point in time, we are adapting our approach to the changing preference of our users.
Amazing. So I will come back. I will come back to that question on languages later. But picking up from what you said, that this is an amazing opportunity for, of course, the creator economy. It's also an amazing opportunity for brands, like you said, right? where now they have access to so many people to create content for them. Uh, on the flip side, Rubeena, when I talk to brands, and while they're super excited about this opportunity, one of the things that they talk about is brand safety, and contextually where will my ad be placed. Most of this is what is going to be the quality of the video. Most of this content is still user generated. How do you and Josh address some of these concerns?
Shani, it's a very pertinent questions, and brands are right, to ask for brand safety, when they are looking at some of these platforms. And I think a large part of creating a safer internet, both for consumers as well as brands, relies on the people who make these platforms, such as ours, to attract the right stakeholders. We have to take that responsibility, and we take it very, very seriously at Josh. So on one side, our focus is to create content around information and entertainment. And on the other side, our tech works round the clock to train and optimize newer models to check for any kind of malicious content or content which is below par. But it's not just a tech driven approach, it's actually a multi-layered approach that we follow for content moderation. There is of course a machine layer that is there, which I talked about, which goes through a serious rigor about, tagging for every kind of content and detecting, if there is any kind of malicious content. But also there is manual intervention, and I understand this manual intervention is very hard to do, but because we take brand safety so seriously, we have also invested into that.
That is a big piece, and it's a piece that's difficult to scale. So the more AI and machine learning we can get into it, the better for the entire industry as such, right?
No, you're right. And I agree with that. It has to be more AI and machine learning driven. And that's where our focus is as well. But till, we arrive at a complete foolproof system, because we take this so seriously, we've also put in a second layer, which is also of manual intervention to make sure that there are no slippages and there is a, complete brand safe environment, which we offer to our advertisers.
Perfect. I think no brand should ideally need to ask for more. And so Rubeena, from the concerns apart, this is definitely a big opportunity for brands in the short video space. So how big do you think is the scale here, and how should brands actually be employing these opportunities? So I would like to hear from you on how they should actually work with platforms like Josh, and what should they really measure for their marketing? What kind of metrics should they be targeting here?
So, there are various reports that are floating around, but it really says that it's going to be the influencer marketing industry is going to be about 900 crores, and not by the end of like this year, right? It's not like in the future or whatever. So 900 crores is a big number to be in the influencer marketing industry. So there is a lot of opportunity for brands to do some amazing work in this space, really, with the short video apps. And I think what we do is we provide at Josh, we provide brands with a unique opportunity to engage with our users by integrating their messaging into the content, and we do that through our ever-growing and very vibrant creator community. We provide brands with that platform to tap into this space, really. And like I said earlier, the consumer sentiment has now shifted, to trust influencers over, like I said earlier, maybe celebrity endorsements.
Correct.
And by enabling brands to access this whole creator community, we allow our creators to tell this brand story in a very native manner, which is relatable to the user, in the language of their preference. So that is one opportunity. The second one is also that we have set up Josh Studios, where we do a lot of properties which are just not on the app, but also on ground, which gives an opportunity to all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, whether it's our clients, whether it's our users or our creators, to engage and experience the brand in real, in person, really. So these are the two large opportunities that we are providing right now on Josh. And the metrics really here to measure are, would be what is the brand engagement, how well is it, how well are consumers receiving the message, and how many are reached out, and how many are engaging with that message. So reach and engagement are the two metrics to follow. But as we go forward into this whole space, I think very soon there will be a very large opportunity or large opportunities which will be opening, which will be more in the area of, social commerce and live streaming as we go forward. So, e-com and live streaming are going to be big opportunities as we go forward.
Right, absolutely. I think the opportunity to work with influencers and micro influencers and the amount of trust that they bring, with a consumer is at a level that's way different from what you would see a celebrity on television. Right. And so many brands are now going D2C, direct to consumer, from startups to your legacy brands. Everyone wants to do D2C. So Rubeena, do you think the short video app and working with more informal micro influencers, that kind of thing, is that the way for brands to actually talk to the consumer directly? Is it one of the best ways to do that actually?
I think so, Shiny. And let me give you an example. Let's say there's a wedding in the family, right? We need to buy some jewelry, etc. While there are many big fancy stores, and you're familiar with Bombay, so I would use that example on Turner Road, etc. But eventually you end up going to your local jeweler. Why do you go to your local jeweler? Because they have, they understand you best, they understand your culture, they understand you better. Likewise, I think today users, like I said earlier, are becoming more discerning. They want to see real brands who connect with them in the way that they want and understand them. You understand their potential users, right? And these influencers, they may not be very large, but they have this huge ability to be able to engage with their followers in a very deep way. They have deep connections, right? And brands have to leverage that. There may be smaller set of people who follow these micro influencers, but in a very, very, the engagement rates are very, very high. So I think brands are beginning to exploit that and see even the benefit of exploiting that as we go forward. So yes, it is a big opportunity for brands.
And I think it's not, when you're working with an influencer, it's not as simple as, I pay them a certain amount of money to say certain thing. The brand has to get the influencer invested in them, believe them, because that's when the followers will believe the influencer. It's actually a chain that runs, right?
Absolutely. Can't agree more with you.
Great. So someone asked me this question the other day on how do you decide what D2C brands you want to, buy or purchase? And I said, I listen to influencers, and they tell me, like, how do you trust influencers? I don't know. I've been following them for a while. I think I can tell when they're lying.
No, you're right. I mean, the influencers are also choosy about the brands that they endorse, and they, most of them, they like to be consumers of the brand that they endorse as well. And because of which they have a very strong following. It may be very niche, their following, but it's a very strong following, and their followers believe it. There's far more trust and belief in what they're saying, as opposed to a brand putting up their content, which could be celebrity or non-celebrity led. But the belief is far more there, and therefore, I think we're seeing the trends, right? And that's why I said it's already, like, this year, it's already a 900 crore ecosystem. And I think it's going to go only strength to strength as we go forward in the years.
Yes, absolutely. I think it is the age to speak one-to-one with people, and it is the time to talk to people openly and directly. And, everyone needs to stand for what they believe in.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So another thing, I think we touched upon this briefly, Rubeena, but I want to talk to you about the multi-language approach that you have, and that definitely brings a lot of, I would say, inclusivity into the video space, because here is something that is available on mobile devices. Here is something that is available on, it doesn't need to be really high speed internet. And here is something that is available on all kinds of languages for brands who want to, even break away from the Hindi, English only content and want to, experiment with more, different dialects and different languages that you have. What is your experience? What is your take on this?
So, Shani, I've often seen brands, wanting to break away from English and Hindi, like what you said, is thinking of it as regional marketing, right? Let's go into other regions and market like that.
Correct.
But I really struggle with that. And, I think, we need to decouple that mindset of non-English marketing equals to regional marketing, right? That was perhaps true, when it came to print, right? But in the case of video, it's very, very different. The belief that languages are confined to regions, I think is totally outdated. Going forward, we have to focus on what is the user's preferred language as opposed to where the user is located. So for instance, I'm located in Mumbai, but I prefer to speak Punjabi at home with my family, right? So I think brands have to change that lens, and as opposed to the location, look at the user's preferred choice of language. And if you really ask me, I see an exponential increase in content in Indian languages, on the back of short form video. And the recent data on, you see any kind of metrics, whether it's engagement or even on our own platform, we've seen that it's just, the engagement has just skyrocketed, and there is still tremendous potential to grow even more. I think what the reason is really because the the accessibility and the relatability of the content in Indian languages, is there today with short video, and that is increasing the consumption of this kind of content. So it's like a, virtuous cycle. And I think my belief is once, brands start understanding this, we will see a growth rate in digital spends also, which will be higher in Indian languages than English per se, which we saw in the case of television as well, right?
Correct.
Well, the spends are more on Indian languages versus English. So I think that is really going to happen on digital as well, backed by video largely.
Absolutely. And I think it's also a time of the day. So maybe during the day in office, I want to look at English content, but when I'm at home, relaxed in my bed, I want to, so it's like you said, it's not about where you are, it's about what language do you want to be talked to at a particular point in time also, right?
Shani, also, I think, what happens is that maybe a few of us, we can, and the early adopters of the internet, right? Like, we were all more English. We would read and write in English more than Indian languages. So maybe that's why it was like that. But today it's more the age of not text and video. And video we all consume, right? We all may read and write or speak as we are interviewing today in English. We all enjoy our Bollywood films, right? Which are not English. So all of us are at least bilingual in this country, if not speak a third language. But I can safely say most people in India speak 3 languages, right? So that's why I think this whole shift of video into the internet, video is really growing, on digital. And this whole shift, to video from text, that is going to, really fuel or act as a catalyst for the growth of spends on Indian languages.
Correct, absolutely, because we're all 3 language speakers, but the third language, maybe we don't know how to read and write it, but we can definitely speak it and understand it.
Yes.
Rubeena, and now for the next and the last question, I need you to be a little future gazing and tell me, what are your predictions or what do you look forward to for the next 2 or 3 years for one Josh and for the short video space in general?
So I would say the short video market, according to various reports, is really going to grow exponentially, and it's predicted to reach about 650 million users by 2025, which is not very far away. We're already in December, so I can safely say about in 3 years.
Yes.
This is going to become a very lucrative space, both from a content creator point of view and also from brands point of view. There are going to be a multitude of opportunities which will open up really on both ends. At Josh itself, we're today 36 million MAUs and 66 million DAOs. And we're the market leader, with better engagement, better retention, and a better, I can say, influencer ecosystem than other homegrown brands in the country. Also our recent investments in Josh will be focused on deepening and broadening our AI and ML and data science capabilities to further, widen and our leadership position across users, live streaming, and cementing our clear market leadership across the Indian language creator base, which is of about 50 million creators, and as well as local language, content ecosystem, which gets about, I think about 80 billion video plays per month. And like I said, digital is growing, and within that, video is outpacing. And within video, people are getting really hooked onto the short video platform because it's really, really immersive. So I think, and marketers, from a marketer's lens, I think they're always looking at opportunities beyond the duopoly to see where they can have a large set of audiences where they can engage with their brands. So I'm full of excitement with the future, looking at it with a lot of josh. And I think it's going to be a very, very exciting road ahead.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rubeena. I think this has been one of the most exciting interviews at Leadership Lens that we've done. And we've talked about, some insane opportunities that are, just lying there to be grabbed. So thank you so much for bringing all this to us. And it was wonderful speaking with you today.
Thank you. Always wonderful speaking to you. And thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed this conversation.